I've always said if I can't go home and explain it, I can't vote for it. And that's why I oppose Build Back Better. For Alex Mooney and his out-of-state supporters, to suggest David McKinley supported Build Back Better is an outright lie. David McKinley has always opposed reckless spending because it doesn't make sense for West Virginia. Alex Mooney has proven he's all about Alex Mooney. But West Virginians know David McKinley is all about us.
I'm David McKinley, and I approve this message.
Okay, so we have our Monday Menace because a lot of nonsense happens over the weekend, and now we got to talk about Joe Manchin because he is using the fact that he almost single-handedly destroyed the Democratic agenda so that he can weigh in a Republican primary to help this candidate try to take out a Trump-backed incumbent, and somehow he's worried that the Republican is going to be seen as supporting Build Back Better. So the Republican needs Joe Manchin's conservative cred by describing how he helped destroy it. And this is the guy that we have to hope is gonna let us, pass a climate bill or do more on infrastructure or elder care or education. These are his concerns. It's just, he's so powerful. He's so powerful, Francesca. It's real frustrated.
I mean, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone but Joe Manchin's pocket. That's it. It's just his bank account. Is it growing? Did I get money for this endorsement? Tight. I don't care. Like, he's not actually playing for the other team. He's just playing for Team Manchin. And that is make the most amount of money in whatever life he's got left. And rob the people of West Virginia.
Yeah,
and the rest of us and the world, and then
along the way, of course. And look, he also continues the cover story for why he was against it. That if I can't explain it, I won't vote for it. I'm not going to do reckless spending. Like, it was paid for. It was paid for. He knows that he's paid for. And now if you
can't explain it, you dumb. You're dumb.
There's a case to be made that he is in fact dumb, but smart when it comes to his own finances. He's done quite well for himself, and he's continuing a life path that's gonna see him be ever richer. But he said there that it wasn't paid for. We know that it was paid for. There were gonna be tax increases on the wealthy, which he likes to pretend, by the way, sometimes that he's in favor of. He came out just a couple of weeks ago and said, I would be in favor of raising the corporate tax rate, not to what it was at before Trump, to be clear, but several points higher. And then that allows Kirsten Sinema to then tag in, because this is a WWE performance that they're doing, to shoot it down and to stop it from happening. But anyway, we've occasionally gotten little updates throughout the year, and we always do what we think is our obligation to cover what might happen. So he'll come out and say, I'm in favor of an independent climate bill or whatever. Like, he wants to do $500 million or something for climate. It's all BS, man. This is what the game is. He wants influence on the right. That's what he's selling. We gotta get rid of him. Yes. We need a good candidate to go against him. I understand that the obstacles that are absolutely massive. And again, it's similar to what we were talking about earlier with Sinema. You just get stuck with these people that don't represent their constituents. Remember, we were talking about how badly dental care was needed in his state, the number of people who've lost teeth because they don't have insurance coverage. Is he talking about that? No, he's off doing fundraisers with big Trump donors. He did that a couple weeks ago. Now he's weighing in more in those primaries than the primaries on our side. It's just ridiculous.
And his approval ratings really haven't taken a hit in
Not
West
like
Virginia.
Cinemas have.
Not like cinemas have, absolutely. And obviously that's the nature of that state, right? It's definitely more of a red state. But again, that's sort of where you're like, I don't know, somebody run against.
I don't know, but again, it being a red state, that to me is not a good enough explanation. He is directly standing against aid to conservatives. This isn't like, come on, Joe Manchin, let us put up a massive AOC statue in your state. Oh, he stopped it. No, this is stuff that is bread and butter economic issues. He is hurting them. He's hurting their infrastructure. They're going to be incredibly harmed by climate change. We talked about the number of waterways and streams and things like that. They're going to have significant problems as the climate gets worse and worse. There needs to be better communication specifically to West Virginia. I think that was part of the difference. In Arizona, I think that there were a lot of great groups that have done a lot of amazing work to make sure that people know what cinema is doing. And there have been attempts in West Virginia, like the Poor People's Campaign and stuff like that. They've been rallying in West Virginia, but it hasn't broken through yet.
Yeah. No,
anyway,
there's at the grassroots, there's a lot of great organizations, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying. I don't begrudge them. It's certainly a challenge. Now, at the same time, as we have these massive obstacles to anything getting done, we're gonna get blamed. Us on the left for future losses. We're already responsible. Did you know for what's gonna happen this November, even though our entire thing during Biden's administration has been, you have to deliver on your promises. What part of people can see that you're not doing anything do you not understand? We're also being blamed for earlier stuff. So apparently, during heated backroom discussions following the 2020 election, South Carolina Representative Jim Clyburn blamed progressives for nearly destroying the Democratic Party's House majority. This is according to a book that's coming out soon. So anyway, he was the House Majority Whip since 2019, previously chaired the House Democratic Conference from 2006 to 2007. So he's influential. He's been a member of the leadership and everything. He said that they had basically, in inspiring racialized voting backlash, they had risked losing races that should have been easily won. Look, I would argue that the only reason that Biden was able to squeak by in that relatively narrow election was that progressive pressure caused him to present himself in a far more progressive way than is actually merited by what he planned to do. It was still close despite that, but they're always blamed. No power, all the blame. No legislation as we would craft it, always the blame for what doesn't get done, Francesca.
I mean, pay attention to what Clyburn is saying and how he's saying it, right? This is a Black leader in the Democratic Party basically saying, stop making this about race. You made it too much about race and you're alienating white people. This is the same line that you could hear a Republican say. This is the centrist line. This is a reactionary line, and it actually isn't true. It does not bear out. I mean, I'm sick of repeating this. We were heading into the election. The pandemic had just happened. Bernie's not looking good. Everyone's coalescing around Biden and no one is excited. And then what happens? The George Floyd protests pop off. People take to the streets en masse, young people, first-time voters, and suddenly the entire apparatus around them reveals itself to be as racist as we all knew it was. And that does actually galvanize people to the polls. It galvanizes people to come out for Georgia. It galvanizes people to make calls. It galvanizes people to send in postcards. Stop this with the BS. You're alienating white voters. Oh, I'm sorry. The largest growing voter bloc in this country are Asian American voters, then Latino voters. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Hate Clyburn.
Yeah, and look, they're continuing to try to pitch like progressives as out of touch on the policy, but also even to the extent that they will talk about like race. There was an article I saw, it was about, I think they were talking about like Summer Lee and maybe another candidate or two. And they were like, these new candidates are redefining progressive away from like white male. And I thought, I get that Bernie was like a big candidate, but when I think of like leftist candidates, I don't think of white males. Like what percentage of them have been? There have been some certainly, but the vast majority are women, the vast majority women of color. Like there seems to be this really slow process where the media gets who these people are, who are actually the champions of this political movement.
Yes.
Opportunistically, I would suspect. Anyway, with that, opportunistically not recognizing it, I mean.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.